working permit and employment visa. Okay, so now an employment visa is when a company employs you. For example, you are in Nigeria and a company is in Poland, Estonia, or anywhere part of the world, for example, and they give you their contract, they employ you, and they provide you with all the necessary documents you have. You get the visa with the companies doing everything from your home country, and you're coming into a new country with the company's provided visa. It's a working visa, but the company did everything. They tend to like assist you. Some company even go as far as assisting you with, let me say, accommodation. They make sure the flight and everything package that you need. Everything is provided. Everything is arranged. That is an employment visa. Now, which is to say, you are coming directly from your country. You are coming to this country and you are working. You are starting the job immediately. Now, in terms of the working permit in Lithuania that we are talking about, working permit is a permit that allows you to work in a country for a certain period of time. Which is to say, you are getting this working permit and you are legal in this country to work. There are some jobs that many people in Lithuania here cannot do because they don't have a working permit. So which is to say, even if they find those jobs and they are doing it illegally because there is no permit for them to show. For example, I am using a working permit visa, okay, or working permit resident, let's say, here in Lithuania. So it's totally different, which is to say, it gives me the right to work in the country anywhere I want to work, any company I want to work in the country. But because I've already signed a contract with a company that provided me with a working permit, I am not allowed to start working with another company until the company which I signed my contract with, we are done with each other. That is when I can move on to another company. So I just want us to understand the difference between working visa and working permit. So when you're getting a working permit, for example, you're in Nigeria, you want a working permit in Lithuania, and the lawyer is providing you with a working permit, it does not mean automatic visa. It simply means that the company is selling you their contract. Okay, we are giving you our contract for you to work for so period of time. So this company can decide, okay, we are just giving you this contract. We have been paid and we are issuing you this contract. So we are going to stand anything paperwork, documentations in terms of the immigration. We are going to provide everything that is needed. Okay, but you are taking this contract. It gives you the legality to be able to work in this country. So now, bringing it back to this package that we have at hand and what is happening. First and foremost, how do we go about this working permit in Lithuania? What are the application process? Now, first and foremost, you get to contact me. You contact me as the agent. Fair Travels, I am interested in working permit. This is what I want. So now, when you get to contact me and you show my interest, from my end, I have to do a kind of interview. That interview will enable me to know your motives, why you want the working permit, what interests, why you want the working permit, what is your background. I just keep going on and on because I need to check to make sure you understand that there is a difference between employment visa and working permit. After which, I check for a kind of hidden interest to be able to know, so you get to understand the terms and the conditions that are attached to this working permit, and also is a kind of me making you understand that when you get into the country, you will not use a Lithuanian working permit to go and work in Norway or Germany. It does not work like that because each and every Schengen countries, they have different regulations, they have different internal policies. Okay, so what works in Lithuania in terms of their Ministry of Labor does not work in Germany. So these are the things that when you show your interest, during our course of discussion in the interviews, I get to explain and tell you everything. So the second thing is the application process, the criteria. The candidate must be a graduate. For you to be able to come and tell us you want to apply for this working permit, you must be a graduate. So those of you that are coming with your WAEC, with your NACO, with a lot of experience, I do understand that you expect your experiences from anywhere you've worked to cover up, because you can be able to do this. But the criteria is that you must be a graduate. So if you're just coming to us with just your WAEC and NACO, we are not going to accept it because you're not a graduate. So it tends to lead to some loopholes. I do understand, but that is just the way it is. Another thing is you are going to be providing us with your international passport, your photo passport, letter of reference from your previous place of work. Okay, because it's very important. These companies, they really want to see it, because when they see it, they tend to understand what the kind of person that they are allowing to come into their country and the kind of person the company is issuing their contract to. So it shouldn't be a person that is going to rub the name of the company in the mud, or the kind of candidate that is going to be problematic. So letter of reference is of a vital importance, because they need to see it and they need to understand what is happening. So now the total package of everything is 1,950 euros. The lawyers from their end, they are taking 1,600. Why our service fee, the errands we're going to run for you, to package all your documentation, to post it, go to the law. We are like the middlemen between you and the lawyer. We go to the lawyer's office, pick all your document, arrange everything. Our normal service, the same way we are charging the students, is the same way we are charging for this working permit, which is just 350 euros. We get to run around for you, package everything, and make sure the documents are complete before we send it off to anywhere you are. We're sending this documentation to. So, and also national ID card is required, and initial payment of 700 euros or 800 euros, depending on how much you want to start with. You package this money at the same time with those documentations that I've mentioned before. Now, the thing that happens is that a foreign national accepts a job offer from the employee in Lithuania, which is to say the company is issuing at their contract. Now, with a job offer, that does not necessarily mean that when you come, you will start working. I just want you guys to understand how this thing is going. This is like a selling off. But for guys into IT, into engineer, you have 98% chances of being retained in that company. Okay, for example, we are dealing with companies like engineering companies. We are dealing with which falls under automotive companies. We are dealing with IT companies. We are dealing with clothing companies, because they are looking for tailors. They're looking for IT guys, even logistics company. So if you already have a background, you read computer science or engineering, and you're a graduate already, so it is a huge plus for you, because the company might retain you, So you guys, I think it should be very clear on how everything is going. So after all these things that happen, you've submitted this document. Now you're submitting this document, or you're sending it to my email, and I'm taking it to the lawyer. So what the lawyer does is that lawyer picks out the relevant document and every document that is needed with the initial deposit you've made, and lawyer takes it to the Ministry of Labor to apply. That is when, after the application has been submitted to the Ministry of Labor, the second payment comes out. Now, the last payment is after the working permit is complete, which is to say, first installment comes with your documentation. The second payment comes when the lawyer has submitted the right to the Ministry of Labor, and the last payment is when your working permit is ready. Now, when your working permit is ready, what do? We pick up the working permit and all the necessary documentation that is needed. We package it and is posted. It cannot be sent on email, no, because you need to go with the original copies to the embassy if you have any Lithuanian embassy in your country, or you're using VFS. You need to package this documentation for what? Submission of visa. Now, you understand the difference? For employment visa, you are getting the visa directly because you're coming to work directly. For working permits, you are getting the working permit from the Ministry of Labor in Lithuania, and you are using the working permit to go and apply for your visa. So the working permit is not automatic visa. In this working permit package, the company is not giving you an apartment accommodation. The company is not paying for your flight. The company is not paying for your feeding. It is not like a total complete working employment visa package. This is a contract that gives you the ground to work in the territory of Lithuania within the period of 1 to 2 years. The reason why I'm really taking my time to resound this is because a lot of people keep asking me and they are a bit confused. So I hope this video is going to help to expatiate everything, and at least on a lighter note, to make everyone to understand that this is the difference between a working permit and an employment visa. Just like the way the name sounds, a working permit. When you're working, permitted to work. So that is just it. It doesn't mean automatic visa, which is to say, now, after that, we move on to the visa requirement. Now, requirement to obtain Lithuania working visa. Now, there are a lot of things that happened. It is the employer's responsibility to apply for working permit on behalf of the foreign employee. Which is to say, if you were in this country and you've already gotten a job from a company, it is the duty of the company to provide you with a working permit. They are going to do that for you here when you are inside the country. But now, since you're coming from Nigeria, India, Pakistan, any part of the world you're coming from, the company is not there per se. So what the company is doing is the company is providing you everything that is needed and backing you up, even when the embassy contacts them that this is our employee or this is a candidate we've provided with our contract. So we oblige you to provide them with visa. Now, so what are those documents that are needed when you want to apply for working visa? One of them is proof of qualification of the job, such as previous experience and education. Remember we talked about it, that I said the person has to be a graduate. So it's of a vital importance, so you have to include it there. Another thing is like a personal identifying information that has to do with your international passport. And apart from that, and the visa as well, the candidate has to apply for is also the national visa. Okay, but that national visa is different. It's not the same with national D visa that we all know, because national D visa is for students. And what are those documents that needs to be added? An application form for national visa, which of course you have to complete it electronically. We all know how that is done. Even for those of you that are students already, you have to, there's always a visa form online, you have to do that. And a passport that has been issued within the last 10 years, which is to say most of us do this a lot. Another thing you have to put into consideration when you are going to apply for visa is, my dear Nigerians, I love you abroad. We are so nonchalant in terms of our attitude towards documentations. I don't want to equate it to the unfunctioning systems that we have in our country, or reluctancy or negligence, I would say. We usually take things for granted. For example, if you're going to apply for visa and your passport is like 2 months or 3 months, of course that is a rejection on its own. You've rejected yourself even before the consulate stamps your rejection. So you should make sure that the passport at most 6 or 7 months. So that documentation, which is your international passport, should be at least within something that have been issued within the last 10 years. Okay, it should also contain a lot, two or more, three, five, six blank pages. These are like necessary, that is valid for at least, let's say, 3 months after duration of the visa is being provided. Okay, these are like important things that consulate they look out for, because they really want to see this complete documentation before they can issue out a visa. Because most times you guys don't even understand how these things work. For a consulate to be able to issue out a visa to another national, it means I am giving you an opportunity to come into my country. So you could be a spy, you could be anything, but once you have the visa and you step into another territory, you can decide to like ruin things, you know. So that is why they are like being skeptical in terms of the documentation and everything, making sure that everything is fine. And also a passport photo should be included, which should be in colored, of course, and a letter of mediation. You know, when it comes to like student application, there's always a mediation letter from the university which is issued to you after you have paid school fees. So in terms of working permit, this is it. They have like their their mediation letter, okay, from the employee. All right, so this is also submitted electronically, or for those of us that are going to be using BFS from Nigeria, it's also submitted like that. And the working permit that was given to you by the Ministry of Labor in Lithuania, you have to attach it. Of course, that is my duty to post it to you. And also a proof of sufficient funds and means of income. How am I going to survive in this country? For example, if I get a working permit and I'm coming to this country and for now I've not started doing anything yet, what will I survive on? Okay, fine, I'm already employed, I'm coming to work, but I have a proof of fund, I have something that will sustain me before even the salary comes for the first month. So that is why a consulate will always want you to like show a proof of fund. No country this time, trust me, want a liability. Just the way men don't want liabilities as wives, women don't want liabilities as husbands, countries as well don't want liabilities as human beings. So trust me, a proof of fund is of a necessity, because the consulate needs to be sure of whoever that is entering their territory have what it takes to take care of themselves, even before they start receiving the first salary. And also proof of health insurance. We all know that this is like mandatory, because any company inviting you or giving you their contract want to be sure you're free from all those kind of contaminating diseases. That's part of the fact of COVID now, that everyone is super scared. Everyone is like, okay, be very, very careful in order for them not to contact this. But all those chronic diseases is important. You have like a health insurance, okay. And apart from that, some tests, sometimes, usually some companies ask people to like, okay, like the job that I posted in Ireland, they were like, okay, make sure you don't have a lung disease. You know, they're like specifications, because they really want to protect themselves, and at the same time they want to protect other workers, because you are not the only one. So these are like scrutinies that document and individuals go through to make sure everything is smooth. So health insurance is of a vital importance, because it gets to cover you even while you're here or for the period of 1 year when you arrive. And at the same time, now, okay, fair travels, we did understand what you're saying. Whatever the situation, our visa is denied after we've been issued a work permit, what happens? Now, it's a two-way scenario. Like I was trying to have some dialogue with the lawyer, and the lawyer was trying to make me understand that, okay, Faith, this is not a difficult thing, because from our end, we can be able to handle this situation. But the thing is, if peradventure a candidate is being denied visa, after we've provided the candidate with everything we know we should provide the candidate with, and the candidate is still being denied visa, then we are going to take out our time to look into those documentations. First and foremost, we are going to try to find out if the fault is from us or the candidate. If peradventure we check and anything regarding to the documents, everything is accurate from our end, and maybe the loophole is coming from the candidate, we are not going to refund. But if we check, we've provided the candidate with everything, the candidate's documents are authentic, no forgery, and the document is rejected, we are going to refund. That is from the lawyer, okay? If the lawyer does the job and everything is neat on the lawyer's side, the lawyer will refund. But if the lawyers did your job perfectly, and you go and use a forged document, like bank statement that is forged, or something that is totally abstract, that is not even connected to what you're doing, or you fail your visa interview, they ask you where Lithuania is located, you say heaven for an instant, or you say Jerusalem or Jordan, you just say anything that entire, like, just pass the interview and yeah, hey, you're your own, no, nobody will refund you. That is for the lawyer's own, no. Then on our case, 350 euros. You fail your interview, you pass your interview, you get your visa, you don't get your visa, we are not refunding. The reason is because you are not going to refund or return all my stress and errands that I've run for you. So our services is non-refundable. It doesn't matter what happens, we cannot refund. So I am saying this so you take out your time to watch this video and make sure you try to comprehend everything I've said here today, because working visa and working permits are totally different. Okay, let me use the word employment visa and working permit is different. Employment visa means you're getting your visa and you're coming directly to come and work, while working permit means you're getting a working permit and you're using the working permit to apply for the working visa. So these are two different things. Okay, so we are clear. Now somebody will be asking, why are we even getting this working permit? What is the benefit of getting this work? I think you should know about this, because this is very, 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 very interesting, and this is the fact you should know about this working permit. Is that when you have a working permit in Lithuania, you are a hotcake, because company are already willing to take in someone with a working permit and someone who doesn't have a working permit. The reason is because when you have a working permit, it's super easy for a company to flow along with you. Company don't have to go through the immigration rigorous process, making sure they get all your documents, fixing this. It's costing them time, it's costing them money, your time is wasting and all that. You're being an inability for you to work. So companies don't want to go through this entire immigration process. So you making your life super easy is when you have a working permit already. So companies just see you and boom, they pick you up and that's it. So, and when you're even applying to companies, you just indicate that you have a working permit already. They tend to respond to CVs of candidates that already with working permit faster than people that are still struggling that doesn't have a working permit. Faith, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to make us understand that someone with Lithuanian working permit can go to Sweden to go and work with Lithuanian working permit, or Germany with Lithuanian working permit? The answer is no. You cannot use Lithuanian working permit to go and work in Germany, because there are internal policies. The way German permit works and the way they function is absolutely different. So the working permit of Lithuania is powerful within the territory of Lithuania. Aside of Lithuania, if you're going to Germany to go and work, you will have to do what they call black jobs, like cleaning, restaurant, kitchen, McDonald's, Amazon. Official works is not possible. The reason is because you are not allowed legally to work in Germany. I hope this video has actually cleared all the doubts that everyone has been having, and I do hope that everything should be a bit clear. But should in case you have questions, you have more doubts, I'll be waiting for you in the comment section, guys. Feel free to ask your questions, feel free to clear your doubts, so you can be able to understand and we know where to go from here. Is your girl Girlfriend, and don't forget to smash the button, smash that notification button, guys. Okay, thank you so much for more subscribers. I'm glad that many people are subscribing to my channel. It gives me the energy to keep pushing. And thank you, and peace out. Bye.